Today let's see about the next topic, that is morphology of flowering plants. So flowering plants are angiosperms which will produce flowers. The flowers will bear seeds covered by fruits. So all the flowering plants belong to angiosperms, and morphology is the study of outside appearance, external characteristics. So root, stem, leaf, flower, fruit, what are the outer part of the plant, about that if we are studying, that is known as morphology. So morphology is the study of external structures of the plants. So that's what is given here. External structure or morphology. So here it's given large diversity. So if you take leaf, you can see so many shapes of leaf. Some shapes will be like this, some shapes will be like this, and some are round in shape. Even if you take some heart in the shape of heart. So even in leaf shape you have so many variations. Flower also you can see there are so many types of flowers available. So there is a large diversity or large variety of external features can be found in the plant. So study of all those things are known as morphology. So the first important part, so from the lower class you have studied the parts of a plant, right? So shoot system and root system. Here you have leaf, stem, root, bud, fruit, flower. So these are the parts of a plant. The part below the soil is root system and the part above the soil is shoot system. So first thing first, we will see about the root. So if you take a seed, so first you will have plumule here and the next part is radicle, right? So this radicle will give rise to root. So you have seen two types of cotyledons. So the plants possessing two cotyledons or dicotyledons, and the plants possessing single cotyledons are known as monocotyledons. So you can have green gram as example here, and you can have wheat as example here. So the plants possessing two cotyledons are dicotyledons, and the plants possessing single cotyledons are monocotyledon. So when you allow a sprout, when you see a sprout, you can see two structures like this. The structure pointing upward is plumule. So this is plumule, and the structure pointing downwards is radicle. So the radicle will give rise to roots. So actually, so if you take a root, the center prominent one is the primary root. From the primary root arises secondary roots, and from the secondary root arises tertiary root. So this is primary, it is also known as tap root, and this is secondary root. So from the primary root the roots arising are secondary roots, and from the secondary roots the roots arising are tertiary roots. So this is the structure of a root. If a root is possessing structure and parts like this, primary, secondary, tertiary, this kind of root is known as tap root, and it is present in the dicotyledonous plants, which is also known as dicots. That's what is given here, taproot system. So here in the diagram it's given. So from the primary root the secondary root is coming, from the secondary root tertiary root will come. In the case of grass, when you uproot a grass, you can see a root structure like this, right? So there is no segregation of primary, secondary, tertiary roots. All the roots will be of the same height, same length, and it will arise from the same point. So this kind of root is known as fibrous root system. So this you have already studied in your lower class, so no need of any brief explanation for this. So example given here is wheat plant, and in cases you are going to read a new term here. So in some cases there are some cases where roots arise from parts apart from the radicle. So in the seed, the part which is pointing downwards is radicle, and from the radicle will develop into root, I have said before. But there are some cases where the roots will develop apart from radicle. For example, banyan tree. So if you take a banyan tree, you can see roots hanging. Apart from the main trunk, you can see the roots hanging here and there. So it is not arising from the radicle, it arises from the branch instead. Yes or no? So these kinds of roots arising from part apart from radicle are known as adventitious roots. So the roots which are arising from parts apart from radicle are adventitious root. These roots will not arise from radicle, instead it will come from some other parts. So you have three types of roots here. The one is taproot system, second is fibrous root system, third one is adventitious root system. So what are the main functions of the root? The main function of the root is to absorb water and minerals from the soil, and it will provide a proper anchorage to the plant pots. It provides a proper support by anchoring to the soil, and it in some cases it will store food materials. For example, the taproot is bulged because it is storing food material, carrot, radish. So all are examples where root will store food material, and they also synthesize plant growth regulators. So plant growth regulators are hormones which control the growth and process of plants. So these are the types and functions of root. So you have here the taproot. So this is an example for fibrous root. Here you can see adventitious roots. Root is arising from the node. So in the stem, the projected part, that is known as node. So in between two nodes, what lies is internode. So here the root is arising from the node. So now let's see about the regions of the root. So we will go from the bottom. So the bottom one is the root cap. So it is a thimble-like structure. Thimble-like means it is metal cap-like structure. So here the cells will be thin and soft. So when the root is penetrating in the soil, it has to face rocks, hard substances. That time there may be a chance for it to get damaged. So in order to protect the cells from getting damaged, this root cap will act like a cover and protect the cells inside. So that is the main function of the root cap. So that is what is given. Tender means soft part of the root. So above this root cap you have a region of meristematic activity. Meristematic it will have cells capable of active division. So cells capable of active division. The cells will divide repeatedly in this area. So this is the region of meristematic activity where the cell number will increase. So where the number of cells will increase as it is undergoing rapid division. After dividing, here in this region of elongation, the cells will elongate in size. So this results in the lengthening of the root. So this is the region where the cells will elongate, and it will increase the length of the root. After some point, the elongation will stop and the cells will attain maturity. Cells will attain maturity, as well as it will differentiate into particular type of cells like parenchyma, collenchyma, which we will see in the upcoming chapter. So the bottom is the root cap, which will give protection to the soft cells inside. So this region of meristematic activity will have cells that is capable of undergoing rapid cell division. After cell division, there is a region of elongation where the cells will elongate, and at one point the elongation will stop and the cells will start to attain maturity and get differentiated into some type of cells. And the outer layer. So when you take anatomy, that time you will be very clear with this. So when you take a inner structure of the root, the outer layer is known as epidermis. So it is made up of cells like this. So this epidermal cells will give out so many projections. So those projections are root hairs. It helps in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. So these are the parts of the root. So modifications of root. Modification, some kind apart from normal, there are some modifications, some changes. So first thing is storage. So first thing, food storage. So in the case of carrot, turnip, adventitious root of sweet potato. So sweet potato, carrot, turnip, all are roots. So in the case of carrot and turnip, the main tap root will be big, as it is storing food material. As a result of storage of food materials, the tap root will become bulged. In the case of what is that, sweet potato, the adventitious root will store the food materials. And you all have seen the banyan tree, right? So those roots hanging from the branch is known as prop root. So here the first type it is storing food. In the case of turnip and carrot, the tap root itself gets bulged, and in the case of sweet potato, the adventitious root get bulged. And next, the structures hanging from the branch, as in the case of banyan tree, it is known as prop root. Next, in the case of maize and sugarcane, from the stem, that is from the basal nodes of the stem, lower nodes of the stems lower node, when you are getting sugarcane, you just notice there will be some roots arising from the nodal region. So these roots are known as stilt roots. It is known as stilt root. And in the case of rhizophora, so these are plants which will grow in saline region, where the soil is rich in salt content. Example, mangrove forest. So Pichavaram mangrove forest, those plants are growing in an area which is having a high exposure to the salt content of the sea, right? So there, inside the soil, the root will not have much air for breathing. So what it will do? It will leave a upward growing root above the soil with some pores on it. So in the case of rhizophora, you can see roots coming out of the soil in an opposite direction. Usually the root will go downwards, but in the case of this, the root will grow above the soil, that too in the upward direction, with minute pores on it, and these are known as pneumatophores. So through the pores, the oxygen will enter. So respiration will take place. So through the pore, exchange of gas or respiration will take place. This is what is about root.